It's called Main Road. The name of the road is Main Road on Johns Island. It's the main evacuation route to four of our sea islands: Johns Island, Waterlaw Island, Seabrook Island, and Kiowa Island. This is the main evacuation route. It was closed due to the king tides. These that flooded the road, and they had to shut it down, one way on and one way off. It actually wreaked a lot of havoc, caused a lot of traffic woes, and so I guess my response to that was to get in touch with SCDOT and Charleston County to provide some quick service to quickly have that road reopened. They used sandbags and evacuation trucks to evacuate the water off the road, and eventually we got it open. Of course, it took about 2 days to have the water receded so the road could be reopened. And it actually happened twice in 1 month.
Just based on tides?
Yes, tides and heavy rainfall. That recent unprecedented flooding that South Carolina experienced, that was one of the times that it was actually closed.
So what kind of support does your community need to help deal with these things?
First of all, we need continued support from our community. Right now, the overwhelming majority support the road, but we need all of our elected officials to support this endeavor, as well as we need more funding to have this road widened. The road has to be elevated, and we need a new flyover at the intersection of that road. And so we're really depending on funding from Charleston County, the state of South Carolina, and our federal government.
I take it you have a small community, so alone you couldn't afford to do that work?
Oh no, absolutely not, because the cost is over $65 million to get all this done, and the state itself cannot afford to do it, so we have to depend on the federal government as well. It's very important. I think this is an opportunity for all of us, since this is a national issue, for all of us to get together and speak in one clear voice that we do need a strategy, a national strategy to plan and prepare for these floods that's occurring more frequently, these bigger storms that's coming our way. We need to plan and prepare to provide protection for our citizens, for our economy, for our fragile infrastructure. So when the next one comes, we'll be ready. The recent flood that South Carolina that happened in South Carolina should be proof enough that it's dangerous and it's costly when these floods occurs. So I'm hoping that our elected officials in Washington, especially Congress, I hope they're listening and paying attention, and hopefully they will listen to us when we speak out, and we plan to speak out loudly, that, hey, we need a national action plan. The roads, well, your businesses are shut down. I went out there right after the flood. I went out there hungry, not realizing that the power would be out, the businesses are closed, traffic is a nightmare, and school was shut down. There's a lot of other facility things happening in Charleston County. So, people lost work, they couldn't get to their jobs. So, and there are others that I just can't think of at the moment.
That's enough.
Okay, but there's one point I want to make. This historic flooding that South Carolina just endured. Before the flooding, South Carolina was a red state. Now that we're in a recovery mode, we are a purple state. And I hope we remain that way after full recovery. Ooh, I learned that we have a lot more work to do, and this global warming is real. We heard from the expert and the scientists. They gave us the facts and figures. Of course, I believed that prior to coming here, but like I said, we just have to let the nation know that we need to do more to address this global warming issue, and of course the flooding of our communities. Oh, absolutely. We need more information on it, especially our elected officials at the state and county level. Once a storm occurs and then our life get back to normal, then we tend to forget about it, until the other one hit. But it shouldn't be that way. They should be constantly reminded that another one's coming, because they are costly and they are dangerous. And those risks we need to have mitigated or have a plan in place, before it actually happens, so we can reduce those risks. Well, they know that the storm actually happened. But the reason behind it is what they don't fully understand. And I think that's why I'm here, to get a better understanding, so I can go back and talk about this back home. Granted, not everyone believes in global warming, but I do, and I'm going to try to convince the others. And it's summit like this that gives me the knowledge and information that I can go back home and do a good job of explaining it. And that's why I'm glad that we're having this national summit. So I got a lot of support behind me.